Me Too, Me Too and Time's Up have highlighted, but that harassment and discrimination are a shocking common part of many people's lived reality, and that this reality extends into the workplace, whether in tech and finance, sports and service industry. Every day we seem to hear another story about house of power and another grossly inappropriate workplace behavior. People are furious. They're taking to Twitter and social media to voice this must change. But it's time to move beyond hashtag. It's time for us to report harassment and discrimination to those who can fix this mess. And it's time for us to talk about harassment in more inclusive way, not just about sexual harassment, but to encourage people to come forward about harassment and discrimination based on other characteristics such as age, disability, or ethnicity, because only together can we fix an underlying cause and harassment. You see, most of us will at some experience workplace harassment and discriminations. Research shows that particularly women, people of color, and people who openly identify as are likely to be targeted. And some people, this is pervasive and present, and for most of those people, 98% according to some studies, most of these people will never speak up until. Too often, harassment and discriminations is a lonely and isolating experience, but we need to help people out from under their desk. We need to other people to other voice. The responsible first was even harassed. What what do I do now? And this is what I want to help with us. Navigating and barriers to reporting can be absolutely dizzying. How we speak up in society that too often decorated and discriminations our experiences. How can we speak up in a society that is likely to be reputed toward us? How can we deal with silencing that goes on all around us? Making matters worse. Often our memories are only evidence we have of what happened. Now here's where can I come in. I am a memory scientist and I specialized in how we remember important emotional events. I've particularly focused on how the memory interview process can severely impact the eventually quality of reports, and a bad interview can lead you to forget details or misremember them. Well, good interview can forever change your life for the better. After looking at lab reports and studying this issue, both in I've dissected all different things that can go wrong with our memories that can really threaten your case. And now I'm turning my attention to help people tackle recording and reporting our workplace harassment and discriminations. There is things that I've learned from my research on this that you can immediately apply if we've been harassed. I want to help you turn your memory into and evidence. Evidence that even a memory stick like me is unlikely to find fault files. First of all, James Comey had it right. The former head of FBI used his city car, lock himself in after meeting, and write down absolutely everything he could remember about that what happened. The now famous recalling proved to be quite useful later. Be like Comey. Now you don't need to lock yourself into, but please immediately after something happens, I want to record what happens and do this before talking in because as soon as you share your story with friends or family or colleagues or relatives, you have potential to or change your memory. Uncontaminated counterbalance evidence is worth both. Second, the type of evidence matters. Sure, you can do hidden written, but how do we prove the proofing? Instead, pull out your computer or smartphone and make a note that time smart where you can prove this was record contributions the time stamped evidence is better. Finally, make sure what you're writing down is actually relevant. Too often we see the people bring out the face, they bring out the time-stamped evidence, but sure they're not particularly useful. It's easy to write an emotional, unstructured account understandable because it's emotional experience, but those might not actually be the details that matter later on for an invitation. Write down this list. I want you to keep track of this and simply fill in the blanks. First of all, what happened? Describable situation and do it on the day it happened if at all possible. Second, who is where this becomes crucial potentially later on. What exact time and date did this happen? What location where did this happen? Who did you tell after the event? How did it make you feel during and after it happened? And is there any other evidence, such as WhatsApps, photos, or emails, that might lend more credibility to your case? These are all details that are incredibly easy to record, but are also incredibly easy to forget later on. Humans, according to research, often overestimate their to remember important emotional details later on. Assume that you're going to forget. Assume you have to write it down. Now these three pieces of advice are good start, but of course they don't overcome a lot of other barriers to reporting. According to equality and human rights commissions, which published a report in 2018. Their one one key recommendation to overcome some of the other fields often associated with reporting their kinds of endings to employer. One piece of advice that they made, have an online or anonymous reporting tool. Only that way they will say, can you truly overcome many of fears associated Now, in line with this, and informed by what was happening all around me, and taking and applying and memory science, the times that I been doing, I said that was number of people, and we together created talktospot.com. Spot is on an online that indiscriminations and allows you to do and enormously it's allowed you to do a free and it's completely evidence based. You don't have to talk and a person, there is no fear on, but and you can do it however and whenever you meet. Now you have power to walk through an evidence based on memory. Now this is called confident interview. This is the same technique that police use when they're doing their job properly. So best case is serious. People who are being asked about important emotional events are being asked in line with cognitive interview. Now this walks you through all the relevant information so that at the end, after you've uh, talked to bot with automatic messaging system, and after you create a PDF record that's time-stamped and that you can keep for yourself as evidence in case you want to share it later, or you can submit it to your employer, and in line with the recommendations you can submit it to your employer anonymously, but the reporting tool is only as useful as the audience that's listening. So if your employer is truly committed to change, we've decided to also offer them the tool to respond. So if organization work with this and are truly committed to doing something about workplace harassment and discriminations, they're also able to respond to you even you're choosing to stay anonymous. We think it's important that you can work together with your employer to track this issue. We think that everybody wins when we bring light into the dark issue, whether it happened to you. Recording and reporting what happened can really improve how we talk about these issues. And if you're in organization, this is called to give your employees access to better and more effective reporting mechanism. We know that the current methods that are used in most organizations don't work effectively. It's time to change that if you're committed and inconsistent diversely. It's time for us to celebrate our diversity. It's time for us to give a voice to those who have for too long been denied one. It's time for us to celebrate who, even if they feel to stay masked to do so. It's time for reporting revolution. Thank you.